Hey, Ben Jawalski here. I'm the founder of WODprep and one of the creators of the Shoulder ROM Unlocked system. And in today's video, we're going to talk all about how you can finally unlock your shoulder performance. So whether you're a beginner to CrossFit and you've been working on trying to learn movements like overhead squats and snatches and muscle ups and things like that, or maybe you're a competitor who's looking to take your performance to the next level, or maybe you're even a coach who's just trying to have their athletes be able to work out without pain. Well, that's what we're gonna talk about today, and I'm really excited for the training that we have in store. So make sure you stick around for the full video because you are going to get so much out of this session. The goal here is to help you as an athlete or a coach or a competitor work out and train pain and restriction free. So when we free up our shoulder mobility and we unlock our shoulder performance, we can train without pain, we can increase our performance across every single movement in CrossFit, and ultimately it leads to a better, safer training environment. So if you recall, in video number 1, we discussed in detail the MS2 system. So if you recall, M stands for mobility, S stands for stability, and the other S, the second S, stands for strength. So if you haven't watched it yet, make sure that you click the icon below and go back and watch video number 1. It's really important that you understand the MS2 system before proceeding with this video. So if you haven't watched the video yet, click the icon below and you'll be taken to video number 1 where you can learn all about the MS2 system. So as you recall, it was a team effort putting this together. When I set out in the very beginning, I realized there was so much terrible, not helpful, not effective information floating around out there about shoulder mobility. And what I did was I set out to find some experts in the space that would help me put together this system that actually works and it's actually easy to follow. So what I did was I found Coach Gary. He's a movement specialist. He has a college degree to back it up. And he's also an owner of a performance center in downtown Baltimore. And he's also a competitive athlete himself. So he comes from a really good perspective of knowing how to take things to the next level. He performs at a very high level. And then we have Dr. CJ DePalma. He's a coach at Mako CrossFit, but he's also a doctor. He has a doctorate of physical therapy and he really knows his stuff. Oh, and by the way, he's coached the likes of former CrossFit Games athlete and champion Sam Briggs, and most recently, 2017 Reebok CrossFit Games champion in the 55 to 59 division, Shannon Aiken. So he's helped coach both male and female masters athletes how to get to the next level. And of course, a lot of that involves unlocking shoulder performance. So I got Gary and CJ to come on board and we've developed what we think is the most awesome shoulder mobility system on the planet. So in the last video, we talked about the what of unlocking your shoulder performance. So we talked about the 3 keys and the 3 different aspects to a complete performing healthy shoulder. So to unlock performance, if you remember the little Venn diagram we had, in the center there was performance. To get to performance, you had to have mobility, stability, and strength. And if you're lacking on any one of those things, then you'll be unbalanced and you'll basically lose performance. So today, instead of talking about the what, we are going to talk about the how. So today you're going to leave this video knowing exactly how to implement the MS2 system into your actual training. So we're in for a treat, and Coach Gary is going to be the one to deliver this training today. So sit back and relax and enjoy, learn, soak up all this information from Coach Gary. But before we continue, really important, click the download button below this video and make sure that you download the cheat sheet. So as Coach Gary's going through his coaching, and then I'm gonna follow up with some coaching afterwards, make sure you print out this cheat sheet, you follow along and fill in the gaps, because you have to make sure that you actually put pen to paper to absorb this information. It's not gonna be any useful to you if you just watch the video and then you forget about it. So print out that cheat sheet or just get a pen and a piece of paper and write down these notes and get ready to learn.
In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about our philosophies here at WODprep on how to combat shoulder stiffness and tightness. First things first is that we like to start off pretty much every day with some type of soft tissue work. Soft tissue work will be using your foam roller or laying on your lacrosse ball or your peanut. This soft tissue work, what we like to think of it as, is like adding water to brittle clay, right? If you're an artist, you use clay. As the clay dries, it becomes really hard and unpliable. That's very similar to our tissue. Our tissue, as we get older, becomes less pliable. So when we do the soft tissue work, like smashing into our pecs with a lacrosse ball, that is like adding water to that clay, so that clay becomes much more pliable. So you'll find in most of our daily programming that we start off each day with some type of soft tissue, because that increases the effectiveness of our stretches and our stability work. And then it also increases the rate of adaptation and flexibility. Second is we like to do dynamic stretching versus static stretching. Static stretching is essentially holding a stretch in one position for 30 to 45 seconds. What we find is that static stretching puts much more stress on the connective tissue, such as the ligaments and tendons, when that's not really what we're going for. Each day when you go to work out, you're already putting enough stress on your ligaments and tendons doing dips, muscle ups, pressing, snatches, clean and jerks, that we don't need to do that again in our daily movement practice. What we like to do is dynamic movement stretches. This is basically stretches where you are continually moving. The body has some safety mechanisms in place that will keep you inflexible to prioritize safety. These dynamic stretches where we continually stay moving actually rewires the brain to say it's okay to go up overhead in a nice externally rotated position and I won't hurt myself. So the dynamic stretches, greater than static stretches, they rewire the hard drive and tell the body it's okay to be more flexible. Third philosophy is once we are now in a better position, we need to stabilize in a better position. So we won't have as much of a lasting effect if we do not stabilize or strengthen in our newfound good position. If we just do soft tissue and then do our dynamic stretches, but then don't actually strengthen a good position, we won't have as permanent of results. So you'll find at the end of each daily programming, we'll throw in some type of core finisher, whether that be planks or some type of TheraBand oblique chops. So philosophy 1, we gotta apply water to the clay. So we do the soft tissue work. Philosophy 2 is dynamic stretching is better than static stretching. We will rewire that brain to say it's okay to go to this range of motion, and I can go to that range of motion safely. And lastly is we got to strengthen in good position. We got to let the body know it's okay to be stronger in this position. So those are our 3 philosophies here at WODprep. We're going to give them all to you in this program, and they will give you the results.
Okay, so let's go over some of the most important coaching points from Coach Gary's video. So just like he said, unlocking your shoulder performance and basically ungluing the shoulders is kind of like molding and remolding clay. So step number 1, you need to add water to the clay. That's mobility. So basically we're releasing the soft tissue, we're doing some soft tissue work to take this brittle, nasty clay that has been building up, this tension that's been building up for so long, you want to break it up by adding in some water. So we add water to the clay and then that allows us to mold it. So step 2 is molding the clay. We rewire our brain and teach it how to move. So this is where we're doing these dynamic stretches, this dynamic movement to say, all right, we've loosened up this soft tissue. Now we're gonna tell it where we can move. We're gonna tell it how to move properly. And then step number 3, this is something that people often forget, is we've done the mobility, we've done the remolding, and now it's time to bring stability and strength into the equation. Step number 3 is we take this soft molded clay and we harden it. Okay, so that means we're doing strength, we're doing stability work to tell the muscles it's time to tighten up, it's time to solidify in these new good positions. So once we learn how to get into a snatch position, we have to teach our muscles how to stabilize and actually be strong in that position. So it's kind of like, just like we add water to clay, we can mold it, but it's still kind of loose. We want to firm it up by baking it, by hardening that clay in the new position, and that's that strength and stability that we've talked about before in the MS2 system. So now here's what we need to talk about. What is preventing you from putting this into action? Over the past several years of coaching, the past several months of implementing and teaching athletes this specific system, what I found is there's some very common objections that I want to break down. So objection number 1 is that, hey, I'm not an expert, I don't understand this stuff. A lot of people wrongly assume that they need to hire a PT to work on them every single day to figure out how to do this stuff, how to put this MS2 system into practice. And that's just not the case. It's important to have an expert, and it's important to be able to know what you're doing is right, but at the same time, you can do it yourself. So as long as there's someone teaching you, like me, or probably more accurately like Gary and CJ, if those kinds of people are teaching you how to do these movements, then you can practice at home. You can practice on the road while you're on a business trip. You don't have to physically have an expert manipulating your body. Sure, if you have lots of injuries in the past and your body is really like horribly banged up, then it's probably smart to have an actual expert touching and moving you to make sure that you're doing everything properly. But otherwise, if you're just trying to unlock your performance, you're kind of glued up, you can do this yourself, which leads me to my next point, which is I don't have time. So as long as you understand that you can do this yourself and you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to get worked on by an expert, knowing that you can apply these tactics and do it yourself, now that unlocks so much time. So number two, the second objection is, I don't have time, Ben. Well, my argument is that you don't need lots of time. You don't need 2-3 hours at a time like so many people put into their training. You only need consistency. Consistency is the key here. And as you're gonna learn with our shoulder ROM system, with the entire, the MS2 framework, it's all about consistency. So you're not gonna fix your shoulder mobility in 1 or 2 sessions with an expert, or 1 or 2 sessions of, smashing with a lacrosse ball or holding a front rack stretch, right? You can't change your mobility in 2 minutes of holding a banded front rack stretch, okay? What you need is consistency, and that's exactly what we teach. We teach consistently, step by step, 15 to 20 minutes at a time over a consistent basis, and you will see massive changes. So that's all you need. You need consistency. You don't need huge blocks of time. So that leads me to the final and most common objection. Objection number 3 is, Ben, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what drills, what reps, what sets. How long should I hold it for? How long should I be moving? How often should I do this every single day? Well, the good news is that in video number 3, we are gonna show you exactly what to do. So Coach Gary, in the next video that we're gonna send you in a couple days, Coach Gary is going to lead you through a start to finish workout, teaching you step by step exactly how to apply the MS2 framework. So he's gonna lead you step by step through a workout. It's gonna take about 10 or 15 minutes, but all you need to do is sit down, press play, and follow along, doing exactly what he tells you to do. There's no guesswork. There's not very much equipment involved at all. You don't have to figure out how many reps and sets to do. He lays it all out there and takes you through the workout from start to finish. It's really awesome, and I'm really excited to share that with you. So keep an eye out for video number 3. So I know you're really excited for video number 3, and I can't wait to send that to you. But before you leave today, something really important. I need you to leave a comment below this video. So scroll down below the video, leave a comment, and let me know what the #1 reason is for you not unlocking your shoulder performance. So basically, what's been the obstacle preventing you from unlocking your performance? Maybe you've just never tried, and be honest, that's okay. Leave a comment and let me know. Or maybe, like a lot of people, you just haven't been able to find the time. You're too busy training and learning new skills and trying to take care of kids and stuff like that to even fit in any sort of practice or mobility or anything in your normal day. So is it time? Is it maybe not knowing what to do? Maybe you have no idea which drills, which sets, or anything like that. Or maybe, this is probably the most common one, maybe you have tried. You've done the static stretching, you've done the overhead mobility work, you've smashed with a lacrosse ball, you've done PVC pass-throughs till the cows come home. You've done everything and nothing has worked. If that's you, leave a comment below. Let me know what has prevented you from actually unlocking your shoulders. And what's good about this is when you leave that comment below, both Coach Gary, CJ, me, we're all gonna be able to look at that and make sure that we can help give you solutions in the next video and beyond. So leave a comment below and get excited. Keep an eye out for video number 3, where we're gonna lead you step by step how you can apply the MS2 system and finally unlock your shoulder performance.